Hey everybody, welcome here to Musicians Edition. I'm Evan, and on the guitar we've been practicing our finger picking skills. So we're going to look at Dust in the Wind by Kansas, which is a great example to be able to practice finger picking. Being able to get your thumb, index, middle, and ring all locked into a string, working to be able to play quickly and together. So great practice for those working on learning finger picking and getting more flexibility and strength in those plucking fingers. So let's go ahead and look at it. So to play this, we're going to have our 4 fingers here, just not the pinky, locked into a string that is not going to change the entire time. So for that pattern, the thumb is going to play the A string, and then every finger is going to just line up from there. So index, middle, and ring finger. So we play the middle 4 strings, and those 4 fingers are not going to leave those 4 strings the entire time. So great practice for being able to play all 3 of these quickly, working together, sometimes by themselves, and making sure we play them with the same amount of strength. So the chords are pretty easy for this. We're just going to play variations of C and A minor. We'll see some extensions and some kind of chord substitutes. That's just really an extra finger going on or off in each of these. So we'll practice our pattern by just playing the regular C major. So we're going to fret C major. Here is the chord for C major in case you need to see it. We need our ring finger, middle finger, and index finger, 3, 2, and then the 1 of that one skipping over with 1 open in the middle. That's C major. And for our pattern, we're going to start off, here's the tab for it. We'll just repeat this so we can get the pattern down. We have 7 instances of notes being played on 8 beats. So it's this initial pinch that's going to get the extra beat attached to it. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on every number you're playing except for that 2 where this initial pinch is going to get held for. So we will go ahead and practice this. Remember to lock into those 4 strings. We start off with a pinch that is our thumb and ring finger on the lowest and highest of the notes we play. Hold that for 1, 2. Then we're going to come in with index and middle. And then we go back to thumb, ring, index, middle. They should all be locked into those strings. So together, pinch, index, middle, thumb, ring, index, middle. And that's our pattern we're just going to repeat. If it helps you to count to get the spacing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll show you one close-up so you can see what my fingers are doing here. All right, and that is going to be the idea for this. So that pattern of what your right hand is doing is going to stay the same the entire time. The left hand is just going to switch between some chords, mainly the C major and A minor with just some variations of each of those. So let's go ahead and look at the sheet. Here's our first line, which is going to have 4 versions of a C chord. Well, really 3 with 1 repeated. So we have C, C major 7, C major add 9, and then C again. So let's get those shapes. So for C, we already did it. 3, 2, and 1. For C major 7, all we do is lift off the index finger. For C major add 9, all we do is press our pinky onto the 3rd fret of that same string the index finger was on. Okay, so that's the highest string we play. So now it gets me 3, 2, 0, 3. Okay, and then we just come back to C again. So I'm going to press my index finger back down on the 1st and lift up my pinky. So C, press your index finger, C major 7, lift it, C major add 9, press the pinky, and C again, lift up the pinky and press the index. We're just going to do that while we play that same pattern we just did. So that'll sound something like this. Okay, we We can go one more time through that. 1, 2, here we go. All right, and practice that one as much as you need to. Take it as slow as you need to. Whatever you need to practice it so you can get it down, so you can start to play it a bit quicker. Do that before you move on to this next part. So take a look at this tab. Remember that shape. The only thing that changes is that top string going from 1 to 0 to 3 to 1. So just remember that. For those ready, let's go ahead and look at the A minor version that's going to get paired with this. So our 4 versions, we have A sus2, A sus4, A minor, and A sus2. So our 2 fingers, our index and middle fingers, are never going to move off of the 2nd fret of those 2 strings there. So we're always going to play open A, 2nd fret, 2nd fret. And then from there, that top string is just what's going to change. So A sus2 has a 0 up top, which means we're going to lift off and play O, 2, 2, O. You can see that on that first section there. And then A sus4, we're going to press with our pinky on that 3rd fret. Same thing we did with that C major one when we added the 9. So that pinky is going to get pressed on the 3rd. Okay. Then we go to A minor, which is 1 up top there, which we're going to use our index for. And then we have A sus2 again, where we lift off. So all together here, we have the 0 up top, A sus2, we're lifted off. A sus4, press that pinky on the 3rd. A minor, we're on the 1 with the index finger. And A sus2, we're off again. So O, 3, 1, O. O, 3, 1, O. We can put that all together here with A sus2 to start us off, lifted up here. So one more time, we're going to do O, lifted up, 3, 1, O. Everything else stays the same. 1, 2, here we go. And that is the part for A. So we're learning the intro to this song. The intro is going to be 4 sections total. It's these 2. They repeat again, just with the chords a little mixed up in their order. So we're going to look at the full 4 parts to this to be able to play the intro to the song here. For the verses and the later parts, they follow this same exact strumming pattern. It's just the chords change around a little bit as you go through it. But this gets you through the first 8 bars of the song leading into the first verse. And then the rest is very similar to this.
This lesson is brought to you by the Musician's Edition practice book. Make goals and keep track of progress throughout the whole year. When you're done with this video lesson, don't forget to mark this practice time in your Musician's Edition practice book. Now back to the video.
So here's everything. We did the first C part, we did the first A part, and you can see the difference when you go to this next C and the next A. It's just the same exact chords, just in a different order. So to start off this next C part, we would start on the 3rd fret, that's C major add 9. Just really look at that top string for the changes. C, 1st fret with the index finger, C major 7, lift up, on the 0, open, and then C major add 9 again, 3. For A, we're going to start with an A minor with our index finger on the 1, then go A sus2 open, A sus4, 3rd fret, A minor again, 1st fret. When you look at this thing as a whole, you can see the first chord is always the last chord in each of these individual sections, and then the other two just fall in the middle. So C, C major 7, C major add 9, C, A sus2, end on A sus2, C major add 9, end on C major add 9, and then A minor, and you end on A minor. So it makes it a little bit easier to kind of remember the order of these. There's a little bit of a system there, but I'm usually just looking at the blue chords here to follow along. You can also just look at that top string to follow along because that's the only change in between there too. But make sure you're ready for the next chord. You're looking ahead at that next chord change because they are quick changes to be made. So let's start on this third line here, the part that we haven't played yet. We're going to start at C major add 9. Our pinky is going to start on that 3rd fret, and then we're going to go through this with 3, 1, 0, 3 on that top string. So that's going to sound like this. Okay, you can practice that one and get that one down just like we did in that first C part. Same chords, just get the order down. 3, 1, 0, 3 this time. Look at those chords. So remember, follow along with that top string and the changes there, or look at the chords and remember what those shapes are. So let's finish up with this very last one with the last A minor. We're going to start off with our index finger on the 1st fret, and then we're going to lift up for A sus2, press on the 3rd for A sus4, and then back to A minor one more time on the 1st fret. So here that is all together. And that's really the entire song. So I recommend keeping this up and looking at it, playing through it at different speeds. The hardest parts are when you have to change from a C to an A and vice versa. So those are the parts you want to just make sure you're prepared for. You're looking ahead when that's coming and you know where you're going to land, and just kind of figure out that system that works for you. There's always your middle finger is always on that 2. Really throughout the entire song, between all the changes from C to A. So I think of that as my anchor that's never lifting up, and it always kind of helps me to have one that stays down while I rearrange the other fingers. So that one is one that always it stays in the same exact spot throughout the entire song, and we're just kind of working around it. So let's go ahead and play this all the way through a little bit slow. If you're able to keep up with it, by all means go ahead, but you hear how it sounds all together with all these parts now. And again, practice those changes, especially those C to A's, and try to be able to stay at the same tempo all the way through without any stoppages. So, 1, 2, here we go. All right, and that is Dust in the Wind by Kansas. A great song to be able to work on your finger picking skills. Stay tuned to more Musicians Edition. Check out my other videos on finger picking on the guitar, and look out for future ones. Have fun playing, and we'll see you next time.